Hi, I'm Caitlin Galanza, one of TOA Global's IT security analysts. And since it's October, we're diving into something a little chilling. Today, we're talking about real-life cybersecurity scares that have haunted accounting firms around the world. Cybersecurity nightmares aren't hiding under your bed. They're lurking in your inbox, your systems, and sometimes even right inside your firm. So let's kick things off with 3 real cyber horror stories and uncover what you can learn from them to keep your firm safe. In Austin, during the peak tax season of 2024, a part-time staffer at Saling Madley, PLLC, a mid-sized accounting firm, clicked on what appeared to be a routine password reset email. Within minutes, attackers triggered unusual file activity and even tried to reset the client portal. The firm acted fast, cutting access, calling in IT, insurance, and investigators. They spent months auditing files and notifying clients. It was a stressful and costly predicament, and it all began with one click. So, what exactly went wrong here? This attack started with a phishing email that looked like a normal password reset. For accounting firms, that's a big risk, especially during tax season when your inbox is overflowing and you're moving fast. To prevent this, first, make sure multi-factor authentication is turned on. Even if someone accidentally shares their password, that second verification step can stop the attack. Second, remind your team to slow down and double-check anything that feels suspicious. That quick pause can be the difference between keeping your system safe or getting breached. And finally, keep an eye on any unusual file activity. If an account suddenly starts to move data in ways that don't make sense, shut it down fast before it escalates. In May 2019, a massive malware attack struck Wolters Kluwer, the global giant behind the CCH tax and accounting software relied on by firms across the US. Almost overnight, access to key systems vanished. Tax and audit software went dark, online research tools froze, and even email and client communications were disrupted. Tens of thousands of professionals were left stranded at their busiest time of year. The silence was unnerving. Firms didn't know if data had been destroyed, held for ransom, or stolen. For days, accountants waited, unable to serve clients, while Wolters Kluwer worked to isolate and restore its systems. The uncertainty created what insiders called a quiet panic. Deadlines didn't stop, but the work did. This case is a wake-up call, showing just how vulnerable firms can be when a critical vendor goes down. They had to take their systems offline to contain the malware, but that also meant accountants everywhere were locked out of the tools they needed most. And here's the reality: cyber attacks don't discriminate. Whether you are a small practice or a global firm, you feel the impact the moment those systems go down. That's why it's so important to have strong agreements with your vendors, ones that can clearly spell out how quickly they can get you back online. You should also keep your own backups, so you're not completely dependent on someone else. And finally, push for transparency. When systems fail, silence creates panic. Clear updates from your partners let you make smarter decisions and keep your clients informed. Our last story happened just this year in May. MKA Accountants, an Australian mid-sized firm, confirmed a devastating ransomware attack. The criminals didn't just lock up their files. They published sensitive documents on the dark web, including client correspondence, financial statements, and even insurance records. The firm has not disclosed how the attackers got in, but based on the bad actors' modus operandi, it could have started with a phishing email, stolen credentials purchased on the dark web, or vulnerabilities in remote access tools that weren't patched in time. However it began, the outcome was the same. Confidential data stolen, operations disrupted, and trust put at risk. Ransomware is one of the most destructive threats a firm can face. And for mid-sized firms like MKA, the risk is rising fast. Attackers are aware that these firms handle highly sensitive data, but often without the deep resources or security budgets of larger accounting firms. That's why prevention has to go further than just passwords and backups. One key step is network segmentation. By separating systems, you make sure that an attack cannot spread everywhere at once. We also enforce strict access controls because not everyone in a firm needs the same level of access. When you limit privileges, you limit the damage. And lastly, we prepare. Having an incident response plan means that when an attack happens, your team isn't scrambling. You already know what to do and who to call. That preparation often makes the difference between a bad day and a total disaster. These stories are real and show how easily a firm can face a cybersecurity incident when defenses are weak. Since COVID-19, cyber attacks on accounting firms have jumped more than 300%. That's why keeping your firm secure online isn't just important, it should be non-negotiable. The good news is you don't have to face these threats alone. At TOA Global, we've built SOC 2 certified processes that protect your data, so you can focus on your clients while we handle the security. If you have a story about a cyber threat your firm faced, share it in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights on cybersecurity and accounting. Thanks for watching, and until our next deep dive, stay secure everyone!